That was the worst possible time it could have cut out. Come on! Oh my god, that's hilarious, though. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. That's so funny. That is so fun. That's so funny! Oh my god. That's so funny. That's so funny. Oh my god, that... Hi, Moon. That's so funny. That's so... They tried to silence me. They tried to silence me. They tried to silence me. I was speaking too much facts. How much of my rant did you guys end up hearing? That's... Oh, you're not done yet, Party Hat. That was perfect timing. Well, I don't know if the others are going to join back, but that was hilarious. Well, in conclusion, Edwin loved Fiona. Moving on. Well, okay. Edwin and Fiona, they're in love. Yep, alright. Oh, whoops. I'm not gonna post about the stream again. I'm not gonna tweet and make a post about it again because I don't care that much. If they show up, they'll show up. That was hilarious. I'm on your food. Hi, Go Gadget. Alright, well. Now we know. No more ranting about Edwin and Fiona. YouTube is... You heard it. You saw it here first, folks. YouTube is misogynistic. YouTube does not like women. YouTube does not like you saying that a man and woman are in love. So you saw it here first, folks. Alright, well. Edwin and Fiona has been moved to S tier. Moving on. Before YouTube crashes again. Foxy and Monty. Meh. Foxy and Sun. Meh. Monty and Chica. Meh. That was such bad timing. I messed up my entire spiel. I was prepared for that, too. I was prepared. Oh, damn it. Alright, Monty and Roxy, no. William and Charlie, no. Straight to jail. Golden Freddy and Springtrap, no. And we can, like, touch this tier list up once we're done, like, moving them around. I just want to get them into, like, the correct tiers first. Monty x Moon x Sun. Hi, Dr. Dark. I don't know if you were... I don't know if you saw the first stream, Dr. Dark, but, we're doing a FNaF shipping tier list. And this is the second stream. The first one crashed. Because I was ranting about Edwin and Fiona being in love. Where did I put Foxy and Mangle? I don't know if we got to them yet. I don't know if... no, we did Withered Foxy and Mangle. I don't think we've done, like, Foxy and Mangle. Although I don't even know if Foxy and Mangle's on here. We might have... yeah, Mangle and Withered Foxy I put in B tier. I don't know if we did regular Foxy and Mangle. I've never played Little Nightmares, so... I'm sorry, Party Hat. Mangle and Toy Chica? Nah. Hi, Glitch. Glitch, I put Edwin and Fiona in S tier. They will not silence me. They won't silence Barney Bear. Surely the stream can't be that bad. The stream was so bad that it crashed. Okay, let's not kid ourselves. The stream was so bad. That's hilarious. It couldn't have chosen a worse time to crash. Chat, do we think Crying Child and Gregory would be friends? Do we think they would be friends? Hoaxes tier list? Actually, Dr. Dark, funny you mentioned that. I was thinking about doing that, but there's too many I don't know. But I was thinking of doing that. Of, you know, like, all the hoaxes. But there's just too many I don't know. I know the big ones, but I just don't know, like, the more niche ones. Yeah, I don't know. Crying Child and Gregory. Gregory is a little, like, intense, whereas Crying Child is more, you know, crime. Yeah, probably not. Their only similarities are visual. Matt Pat was not cooking with that one. Bon Bon X Funtime Freddy. I could make a really bad joke right now, but for the sake of my digital footprint, I'm not. So, yeah, name a hoax and see if I recognize it. Yeah, that's true. I could just Google them. We'll see. I probably will do it because again we're out of ideas and it brought us to here. So Gregory rips into and takes advantage of Cassidy. Cassidy, yeah. He wouldn't stay. Oh, 100%. Yeah. Actually, Cassie and Gregory is on here, I think. Right? Yeah, Cassie X Gregory. I have thoughts on that one. Yeah. I know Phantom Bonnie. I know Phantom Bonnie. I know Sparky. I know Purple Guy animatronic. I know Emerald Freddy. I know Salvage. I know the big ones. But once we start to get niche, I know Golden Toy Freddy. But like the niche ones, I don't know. Fredbear and Springtrap? No. Funtime Foxy X Funtime Freddy. Funtime Foxy is clearly... Actually, I was going to say... For some reason, my mind thought Funtime Foxy was a girl. But his voice, so never mind. Although I guess, you know, they do go by both. So never mind. Chrome Freddy, I've heard of. I might know who you're talking about. Google Chrome Freddy. Yeah, I know Chrome Freddy. Yeah, I know him. Not as much as I know the others, but I'm aware of him. Nightmare JJ, obviously, yeah. Yeah. DJ Music Man X Moon, no. William... Glamrock Freddy and Son. Callan Goff, smooching himself. Jeremy X Fritz. You're only saying that because they're in the same game. You don't really believe in it. Not that one. Chica and Freddy. An old one. Google Chrome Freddy. Fortnite Chapter 3 Season 4 Paradise Freddy Fazbear. Didn't we already did Michael and Phone Guy. I found another duplicate. I remember doing this one. What? It's because it's not hooked up to a printer. That's a good reason. You can't argue with that glitch. Rodney Redbird. Okay, see now you guys are getting a little too niche. Tater the Waiter Gator, Rodney Redbird. You guys are getting too niche now. I don't know what these are. See, like, how is this a ship? How is this a ship? Elizabeth and William. William hits her in the fourth closet. Like, what? Foxy and the Puppet? No. Like, I seriously... People are way too overlooking on that scene where William hits Elizabeth. Like, that's crazy. She's going to pick up a drawing he's standing on and he slaps her like that. How do you... Sorry, I can't go on another rant, otherwise OBS will crash again. Again, the FNaF community is very misogynistic. That's why they like Edwin. Glamrock Bonnie, Glamrock Freddy, and Monty. Again, any ship that has Monty and Bonnie together, I don't think it works, canonically. Okay, Cassie and Gregory. I said I would talk about this one. Yeah, okay, now I have to look up Tater the Waiter Gator. Tater the... Oh! Oh! Yeah. Oh. Oh. I hate this design. But, yeah, I know him. I've never there's something about his design I really don't like. I don't know why. Withered Withered Toys on Wizards, obviously I know them. Alright. Cassie and Gregory. On Nightmares, I know them, yeah. If you asked me what I thought about Cassie x Gregory prior to Escape the Pizzaplex, I would say, sure, go for it. Why not? Escape the Pizzaplex really did damage to those characters. Like, I know... I'm trying to say this without sounding weird. I'll look up Rodney once I'm done. I just want to get this out. I really don't like what Escape the Pizzaplex did to Cassie's character. You know, I get why she's like that in the book. Gregory is her only human friend. So obviously, you know, she's going to try to look past his flaws, you know. Yeah, I know the camera looks wide when I go full screen. Yeah, Escape the Pizzaplex ruined everything. Reagent, true. Like, I don't want to say Escape the Pizzaplex made Cassie stupid. Because, you know, it's obviously an emotional... Yeah, I'll try not to spoil it for you, Moon. I'm sure you know everything, but, you know. Moon, close your ears. Cover your ears. It's obviously a psychological and emotional thing. Where, you know... Again, Gregory is Cassie's only human friend, so obviously she wants to look past that and see him as, like, this figure, maybe who can't do no evil, because obviously she comments that, you know, Gregory's pranks can be a little, you know, blah. Yeah, I'm not going to get into, like, lore specifics, but character-wise, I wouldn't say it butchers her character. They just make choices. They make choices that, you know, I don't like. Yeah, I'll cut my rant short because I don't want to ruin it for Moon. I feel like I've already said too much. I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't like what Cassie did. No, I don't like what the writers did to Cassie in Escape the Pizzaplex. I feel like they... Honestly, I feel like the deeper psychological way you can look at it, I don't think that was intentional. I think Escape the... I won't say that. I really don't want to influence Moon's opinions on the book. And it retcons Bonnie's green room. Exactly. Alright, let's get back into the tier list. Actually, Moon, I'm curious. How much of, like, the interactive novels do you know about? Like, do you know, like, the lore basics in them? Like, I'm curious how much you know about them. I'm curious. Yeah, Cassie and Gregory. Not a fan. Not a fan. Post Ruin makes sense. Cassidy and Charlie, nah. Very scarce. Okay, good. Good. I will not comment on them anymore. The only ones you know about are Into the Pit, Fetch, and The Week Before. You haven't read any of the books? Yeah, honestly, the only interactive novel not gonna say that. I think Return to the Pit gets a bad rap. I'll leave it at that. Return to the Pit. Moon, I definitely think you should read into Return to the Pit. Maybe not so much so you can enjoy, like... No, I think Return to the Pit gets a bad rap. That's all. If you've read Return to the Pit, I'm sure it's goofy, but it's still good. I still had fun with that book. Alright, Arnold and Dispatch. Yeah, Return to the Pit's good. Okay, I think people are way too harsh on that, okay? It's very interactive. You have a lot of choices. It has good lore. I won't say which lore. It has really good lore. I love the secret ending. I love that. I won't spoil it obviously for you, Moon, but I love the secret ending. Return to the Pit's good. Okay, I'm sorry. Arnold X Dispatch. No. I feel like this is one of those, you know, one of those relationships where it would be very... Dispatch would have power over Arnold. Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of it either. Don't get me wrong. League's better than Arnold X the Mimic. But that, yeah. Yeah. No, that's fair, Moon. Arnold just needs a loving relationship. Arnold needs a hug. Okay? Yeah. Yeah. He does deserve to feel loved. Arnold goes through a lot, honestly. Arnold is a great protagonist. Seriously. He is... Arnold's... I won't say he's simple, because he's not. But Arnold's a very, you know, likable protagonist, you know? He's tired, he's down on his luck, he's just trying to get by. He doesn't have much. You know, Arnold's a great protagonist. I love Arnold. Glitch, are you referring to Moon? Okay, this is Vanessa and Lewis. So I don't know where Vanny and Lewis went, but okay, there it is. Yeah, Arnold's great. Fredbear and Spring Bonnie. This one I can see. My God, we haven't put a theory up in this tier in so long. Theory. God, I'm still PTSD to the theories tier list. Before we end stream, I'll show Siri. How the hell? Before the stream ends, I want to hop back in the theories tier list. Bonnie and Chica, mid. Freddy and Foxy, mid. Chica and Foxy, mid. Michael and Henry, Elizabeth and okay. I know some people ship, like, the adult Charlie, who's Elizabeth, with Charlie. I don't fully know the ship, but I know people on Twitter are really weird about adult Charlie. Oh no, I forgot to look up Rodney, I'm sorry. What is it again? Rodney the... I can probably just search FNaF Rodney, honestly. Rodney Redbird. Is it a... Frick Bears thing? Yeah, who's... Is he a hoax? I don't know. Is Rodney Redbird a hoax? I'm gonna be honest, the most I know about Frick Bears is from watching Doggo's playthrough on it. Go to game, but I don't know, like, the nitty-gritty of it. Manipulative baddies. True. Yeah, I don't know. The grown-up Charlie being shipped is weird because she is possessed by Elizabeth. So, I don't know. This one's weird. Gadget, I'm gonna have to ban you now. I'm gonna have to hit you with a ban hammer. Oh. Party X Charlie. Did not see that coming. Okay, well, throwing that in jail. Foxy and oh. Hey, whoever was asking about Foxy and Mangle, Dr. Dark, we found it. Okay, we got to GGY. Tony, Becker, and Gregory. Obviously, you know, GGY ends on a very, you know, doesn't look good for Tony. Probably not the best one. Plus, you know, they are kids. They're middle schoolers, so. I'll put it there. I'm going to move this to the bottom. Yeah. Party hat lore goes crazy. My God. Gregory and Roxy, no. No. Michael and Ennard? Got that entered inside of him. Bringing a new meaning to that. Mike, no. Phone Guy and William. Charlotte from the books. Okay, good. Good. Phone Guy and William, no. Okay, Cassidy and the Crying Child. How do I say this without coming off weird? Cassidy and the Crying Child is the only children ship in FNaF that I can kind of see. And even then, it's more so like, you know, a cute little kid relationship. Like this, I like this one. I like this one. It makes sense. I can genuinely see that one. Maybe it's just because it's like overexposure to it. I know Twitter likes this ship. But I can see it. I can see it. Again, Monty X Glamrock Bonnie just does not work. Ralph, I was going to mention Dave. I was going to bring up Dave. But I feared no one would get the reference. I should have known. Mr. Tails Games would have gotten it. Henry X Mrs. Emily. See, this gets into a thing. I don't remember in the... Okay. Going off of the fourth closet, Henry is not the best husband to Mrs. Emily. Not that he's like William levels, but like Edwin, he just doesn't appreciate her. And you know, it's only once everything's been taken from him and he snaps out of his own delusions that he's like, oh my god, what have I done? So, you know, I'm gonna... chat, I need help. I don't know where to put Henry and Mrs. Emily. Because, like, they're not on the same level as Oswald's mom and dad. I don't... Like, I feel like it makes sense to put them in third. But I just don't remember if, like, the books ever go into detail about what their relationship's like. Other than after Henry has gone crazy and starts building the Charlie bots and ignores her. Like, it's... You can't really... You can compare it to Edwin and Fiona, but it's different because Mrs. Emily is still alive. Once Edwin starts going crazy and builds the Mimic and stuff, Fiona's dead, so he can't really harm her, whereas the stuff Henry does directly negatively impacts Mrs. Emily to the point where she and Sammy leave. So, you know, now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know about that one. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense on paper, but Henry wasn't the best guy. And I'm glad that's something modern FNaF is leaning into, with the movies and Secret of the Mimic. Didn't mean to go on a rant there, sorry. Glamrock Freddy and Gregory, nope. Monty and Moon, again, they'd just be shipping anybody. It's a funny typo. Montgomery Gayer. That's funny. Monty and Son. Michael and Charlie, ew. Okay, we got another good one, guys. We got another good one. Glamrock Bonnie and Freddy, second place, easily. Forever and ever, love Freddy. Oh my god, it's peak, it's peak, it's peak, it's peak, it's peak, it's peak. Henry's an idiot and FNaF Pizza Sim, true. Henry's an idiot in general. We love this ship. We love our Franny. Gator, is that a hint? Yeah. Poor Freddy. I do not come up here anymore. I miss him. Yeah. It's peak. William and Mrs. Afton. You know, again, we run into the same problem of, you know, we just don't know enough about their relationship. The most we have is the movies in the family photos, but that doesn't tell us much. I think if we're going off the kind of person that William Afton is in general, one can assume that they didn't have the best relationship. Especially if you think she's the couch person. Yeah. So I'm gonna put it bottom of this makes sense. The only reason it makes sense is because we know that they are together, but probably not the best relationship. Monty and Son. I've never heard of Monty and Son. I really... The only ships I've heard... I haven't heard the daycare attendant get shipped with anyone, honestly. So it's a whole new world. It's incest. Glenmark Chica and Roxy. Again, I swear we've done this. But I guess not. Foxy was an ally. And then the woke Steel Wool Studios took it from us. Moon and Sun. Nah. Michael and Jeremy. Okay. Glitter Golf. Bro. Alright, these next two are peak. We love Mike and... Well, okay, technically Jeremiah. But still, you know. We love Mike. We love Jeremiah. We love Jeremiah in this household. William and Henry. It's not so much a loving, healthy relationship as much as it is... Steel woke. As much as it is, William in the books is infatuated with Henry's ability to love and his ability to bring life and love to his creations, which William could never do. So this one, I do like what is it? Wilry? I like Wilry. But, you know, obviously it's not a healthy relationship. But maybe they can bond over screwing over Edwin. Who knows? Jeremiah. Alright, and then these last three, we added after the fact. I'm surprised this one didn't include Oswald and Gabrielle. Okay, Glitch. Okay. 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 I'm just imagining that one thing from Scream where Matthew Lillard's arms are around a sweaty... whatever his name is. Oh my god. Chat's getting freaky now. I was thinking about this one earlier too. I think it's obvious... No, actually, I'm not going to say that because that spoils it for Moon. So never mind. You know, I can see this one. I can see it. They are still children, though, so I'm going to not put it too high. But I like this ship. I like it. Mike and Vanessa in the movies. If you were to ask me what I thought about this before the FNaF 2 movie, I would say they're pretty good, you know? Not perfect, because, you know... Yeah, they're not perfect together in the first movie, but, you know, they work. Second movie throws it all out the window. And honestly, the only way I can see Mike and Vanessa ending up back together in the movies is if, like, I don't know. I think they probably will end up back together just because, you know, it's a movie and it has to have its happy fairy tale ending. My mom's typing, guys. Say hi to Bernie Bear's mom. So, you know. Before FNaF 2, I would say they're pretty good. I would say they're in love. I would probably put it in this tier. But now the FNaF 2's happened and Mike is, you know, kind of a jerk to Vanessa in that movie. I'm going to put it bottom of this makes sense. I do think there's a future where they can get together and live happily ever after. But I think it would take serious retribution from Mike. He would really have to, you know. Yeah. Hi, Bernie's mom. What age do you have to... What age are you in British college? Because, yeah, in the U.S. it's 18. Because, you know, it, like, lines up with, you know, you get out of high school, you're, like, 17, 18. Really? Your friend hates Mike X Vanessa? Oh, because she said... Okay, well, that makes sense. I don't know. I can still see a future where they're together. Yeah, Mike needs to lock in. Exactly. He needs to get on his knees and apologize. 16? Really? 16? How does that work? Do you just, like... Well, do you guys even have, like, kindergarten through 12th grade? I genuinely have no idea. Classic American, only knowing American stuff. But, yeah, really. Started at 17 because college started before my birthday. I had no idea. 16. That's so young. My God. I mean, it's not that young compared to 18, but still. All right, the final ship. MatPat X Springtrap. I think it's pretty odd. Look how happy they are together. They're both smiling. Springtrap's got his arms around MatPat's belly. They're expecting. Come on. They're obviously in love, Your Honor. Obviously. Go-Go Gadget. You mean Dokes? Reception? Primary, secondary, college, university. I am so... I need to look this up. Hang on. How does UK education system work? I don't know. I went to images. Really? That's so weird. Really? Sorry, my American brain can't comprehend the education system outside of the K through 12 system. That's so... my brain is just blown by this. I can't... Sorry, sorry for the tangent. My American brain is being melted as we speak. I need to go back to thinking about, you know, FNaF ships. Here's the tier list. My God, how big is this thing? That's what she said. Yeah, I certainly a system. All right, let's pause this. Here's the. Can we get like a little? All right, you can't really read anything on here, but you know, here's the tier list. I don't want to go 6-7%. Yeah, the stream is now teaching an American British things. Crisps and chips and bottle of water. All right, I'll stop bullying you guys now. Yeah, here's the tier list. Honestly, I expected it to be like this. Oops. I expected it to be like this. There's not really many ships that I like. Most of them I'm neutral towards. Some of them are just downright illegal. But the ones that I like. You know, William and Spring Bonnie makes sense. Mrs. Afton and Mrs. Emily is peak. We need an AU about that pronto. Anna and Dan, I learned about them today. They're peak. Bonnie and Freddie, canon. Edwin and Fiona, I'm not going to say anything about them again because I don't want the stream to crash again. Glamrock, Bonnie, and Freddie, canon. Oswald's mom and dad, healthiest ship in the entirety of FNaF. And then MatPat and Spring Bonnie, you know. Yeah. Wraps with chicken and a bottle of water. No, Moon, that's fine. That's fine. Honestly, shelf ships was... What was I going to say? Self ships are, you know, they're fine. You know. Yeah. It's fine. Honestly, like, I wouldn't say I care about any of these ships other than, like, Oswald's mom and dad, Glamrock Bonnie and Glamrock Freddy, and Edwin and Fiona. Those are the only three I care about. Everyone else is take it or leave it. But, you know. So I completely get it. That's not selfish at all. It's just not your cup of tea. You know, some people enjoy FNaF for the lore, others enjoy it for the atmosphere, and some people just have fun, you know, coming up with ships that are illegal and should never, ever be seen by the light of day. Is it a self-ship if you ship your OC with something? Yes, I think so. Yeah, I care about Dana. Dude, that's a great name for them. Oh my God. Dan, I wonder if there... You don't think there's fan art of this? I'm gonna go into full screen just in case. I'm looking this up for us, guys. Don't worry. I'll take the sacrifice. Daniel, Racha X, Anna, Quemto. Is this an act? Is there fan art of this? There's not. Actually, there's... I think the person who made this tier list might have just made this up, because I'm not seeing anything about it. Yeah. So we're done with the tier list. Fan art of Edwin and Chevelle. I'm a LARPer. I don't know who. That's a Fortnite page, not. Who's? Don't you dare show me anything weird. Oh my God! Really? I should have known better. I should have known better, Glitch. Of course I should have. Of course. Yeah, of course. I should have known. I should have known. Oh, and of course, she calls him Eddie. Yeah, okay. Of course, yeah. I should have known. I should have known. Well. Anyway. She does have canonical chemistry. I don't really remember the storyteller that much, but I do recall there being something there. Yeah, like the wiki says that they're seemingly really good friends. Yeah. So, I mean, there is something there. Alright, chat. Party Hat is throwing tomatoes. I don't know why bro's upset. He's free. The tier list is over. Unless you guys have any ideas. I know I said earlier I was going to, like, go through the F10 antivirus theory and do all that stuff. If you want me to, I will. If not, I'm okay with ending stream. It's up to you guys. So let's get some sleepy. Hey. Brace yourselves. Kitty. Chat, say hi to the cat. They'd hate me if I went to every Tales ship. Glitch, I want you to do it. What is gabbing? Novel ideas? I don't know. I'll say this, you know. Me and BJ are working on making another interactive novel, because the first one we had a lot of fun making. I won't say anything else, though, because we haven't even started planning it yet. But we have an idea for one. Let's just... I will say something. Let's just say, fans of Fall Fest 1983, you're in luck. That's where we'll leave that. I mean, I guess we can go through F10 antivirus. It would be cool to get, you know, your guys' opinions on it, because it has been a while since we've seen it. Alright, chat. Actually, you know what? Guys, what am I doing? I gotta get the mood set. Selena and Cade. Oh, wait, don't tell me. Isn't Cade... For some reason, my mind's thinking of Prankster. I don't know. My brain is thinking of the two people in Prankster who go into, like, the testing room and kiss and stuff. I don't know. Yeah. I don't think that's who... No. Cade is not... I'm a LARPer! I'm a LARPer! Alright, chat. We'll go through this quickly. I won't spend too much time on this, because, you know. Yeah. Alright, chat. Brace yourselves. F10 antivirus. I don't think I looped this. Alright. F10 antivirus is the theory that the princess from Princess Quest, Dreadbear from Curse of Dreadbear, and Golden Freddy from Special Delivery are creations from Fazbear Entertainment using the M1/F10N4 program, combined with the memories/data of Cassidy/Golden Freddy to eliminate Glitch Trap as a sort of antivirus. Holy run-on sentence, I didn't realize it was that bad. Oh, they're the married couple from Lally's game. That makes... Yeah, okay. See, Cade sounded familiar in my brain. I just didn't... Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. Hope was Prankster. Alright. What's the evidence for F10 antivirus, you may be asking? Well, as we know from Help Wanted 2, Glitchtrap seems to be a combination of the M2 program with the memories of William Afton's victims. This shows that it's possible to create digital recreations of past characters by mixing a mimic program with memories, which is also what we see in the storytime ending. Probably should add that in. The stained glass window in Help Wanted 2's Secret of the Mimic update, which I'm going to show you guys. Just in case you don't know what I'm talking about. This bad boy right here. No, not Reddit. This bad boy right here. If you look at it, it's very clearly meant to be split down the middle. You know, on one hand we have Sun and Fredbear, the other we have Moon and Bonnie. This window, yeah, you can see them being split down the middle as them being foils. You know, sun, moon, darkness, and light, as they say in moon.exe. If we take the idea that although I guess, you know, M1 is sun. Yeah, no. Okay, I don't know where I'm going with that. This can apply their foils to each other, with M1 being the sun, obviously, and Fredbear. Okay, I don't know what am I saying here? My God. Okay, no. So if they're meant to be foils to each other, right? Bonnie is Glitchtrap. Fredbear, Dreadbear. Sun is obviously Fiona. We know that from Secret of the Mimic. That's confirmed. Obviously, Moon. Kind of a little iffy there. Yeah. Right. The motivations also line up. F10N4 and the Princess. Their whole mission is to kill Glitchtrap. That could be because she wants to purify M2. That way it can mimic David again. We know F10N4's whole thing is about, you know, I miss my child more. So she wants to bring David back, obviously. Then there's the visual similarities. The Princess is a golden yellow, much like the Sun and Golden Freddy. She also carries a sword of light. F10N4 is obviously associated with the sun and light, which could be a connection. This one's weak. The Princess starts Princess Quest 3 off in the FNaF 1 office, which is where the F10N4 machine is located in R&D. I think that's a little weak. The Princess being named Cassidy in the files of Security Breach when it first released. You know, back then, people thought that the Princess literally was Cassidy's spirit back from the dead, or UCN or whatever. Scott could have told Steelwool to remove that because it's not literally Cassidy, you know. It could just be a digital replication of her. Another big point of evidence for the idea that this antivirus was created by Fazbear Entertainment. You know, obviously Curse of Dreadbear has an ulterior motive. You know, Hand Unit repeatedly says, you know, it has no hidden intent or purpose whatsoever. Obviously that's a lie. We can never trust Fazbear Entertainment. To me, it makes sense if they created this entire DLC and the character of Dreadbear so that they could kill Glitchtrap. You know? There's the scanning for glitches Easter egg in Night 3 of Danger Keep Out, which is a little weird. I don't really see that many people talking about it. It's a very weird Easter egg, right? Like, it's super rare, first of all. Like, super rare Easter egg. And it sends you back to the title screen. Like, to me, that says that the scanning for glitches is the entire point of this DLC. And, you know, Dreadbear could be an antivirus meant to take down Glitchtrap. And obviously, you know, you could see it as paralleling the antagonistic relationship between Golden Freddy and Spring Bonnie, with, you know, Cassidy and William Afton. Maybe. Some of the game over messages in Curse of Dreadbear also seem a little aware. I don't have them listed on here for some reason, but there's Where Am I? That's the only one I can think of, but like one of the messages is just straight up, where am I? So like if we're going with the idea that there's a sentient being in this DLC, I think it would make sense if that's, you know, this antivirus that's just been created, that's come into the world, it's scared, it's confused. You have to think, for F10N4, this would be kind of weird. Like, she's spent probably decades just, like, in rest mode, standby mode, whatever she says. She's now awake in this foreign environment with characters she semi-recognizes. She's in a new form in hrehrbhreh. She's been tasked with killing Glitchtrap. Like, it would make sense. There's also the Easter egg of hrehrbhreh rising from the lake, which could be a symbolic continuation of his story. A little iffy there. hrehrbhreh has yellow eyes, which, you know, the princess is yellow. Again, iffy. All of this evidence is iffy, I'm going to be honest. hrehrbhreh also is in the Phaser Blast levels in Help Wanted 2, which take place at Fall Fest. Obviously, we all know Fiona's importance to Fall Fest. And again, hrehrbhreh's debut takes place in a DLC centered around Fall Fest, so, you know, one could see that as, you know, evidence, I guess. This one I do think is pretty strong. I think this is the strongest evidence, honestly. The Easter egg of hrehrbhreh looming over the hub was replaced by an Easter egg of Glitchtrap dancing. To me, this Easter egg's replacement symbolizes hrehrbhreh looming over the hub looking for Glitchtrap. Glitchtrap evades him. Obviously, we know hrehrbhreh doesn't kill Glitchtrap. Glitchtrap, having successfully evaded the antivirus, dances and taunts him. Like, to me, that's very strong. And, you know, I know the ultimate guides shouldn't be used for evidence, but it specifically calls this out as the Easter egg being replaced by the Glitchtrap dancing Easter egg. To me, that's very strong evidence that there's something going on here. And then these last two are kind of just like talking about Golden Freddy, you know. F10N4 could have followed Glitchtrap into the Fazbear Funtime service, could be taking the form as Golden Freddy to combat him. We know FNaF AR's emails suggest that Springtrap's inclusion in the delivery service was unintentional, probably the result of Glitchtrap. So the same could be true for Golden Freddy and F10N4. And obviously, you know, there's the C virus, which Cassidy, you know, could be the antivirus naming itself after Cassidy. You know, I like to think of this as, you know, it's not, the princess isn't Cassidy, she's Cassidy. Kind of like how Helpy isn't Helpy, he's Help-I whenever he's in mimic form. That's how I like to see it. So, you know, there's problems, obviously. I'm not, first and foremost, a lot of this evidence is speculative. Yeah, and it's more so just narratively would it work, which I think maybe. And again, Fazbear Entertainment probably wouldn't care about purging Glitchtrap to the extent where they create an entire DLC around him. And, you know, they wouldn't create Princess Quest. Like, Fazbear Entertainment probably doesn't care. Obviously, I'm not saying they want Vanny to be roaming around killing people, but, like, they don't care. Plus, yeah, if F10N4 is the princess, Fiona's already aware. So I don't see why she would need the player, like Gregory, to guide her around. But it could be her adapting to the rules of her surroundings, like Glitchtrap. Curse of hrehrbhreh takes place at Fall Fest 83, whereas, you know, the Fall Fest where Fiona died was in, like, the 1970s, so that's kind of loose evidence. This one's a big one. Obviously, I was struggling to think of the mural earlier. Moon is more associated with Edwin than he is M2, which really could hurt the idea that this mural is meant to be, you know, one half is M1, the other is M2. Because, you know, Moon isn't really associated with M2 that I can think of. And again, in Moon.exe, Edwin is Moon, so that does kind of really hurt the theory. And again, F10N4 is more associated with rabbits than bears because Mixus is a rabbit. But again, we don't know if Fiona like purposefully looks like a rabbit. She might not. And ignore this one. This is just something that the wikis page has for FNaF AR entries. That's the theory. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think it's that solid at all. Thank you, Deathtastic. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. And it's very stretchy and speculative, and there's not that much strong evidence to suggest that F10N4 is the princess, and she's Dreadbear, and she's Golden Freddy from FNaF AR. I think you can make a very solid case for her being the princess. Maybe Dreadbear. Golden Freddy, not so much. That part I just threw in because, like, Golden Freddy in FNaF AR doesn't have a good explanation. I kind of wish we had an email that was like, hey, why is Golden Freddy in here? But we don't have that, so I don't know. I don't know if F10N4 is the princess or Dreadbear. But I like it. I like it. Most theories are really speculative, to an extent, I would say. You know, most theories, most good theories, should have good evidence. This one is a lot of loose connections and more so narrative. You know, you can create a narrative around Fiona being these characters. So, you know. I know I wasn't reading through chat. I'll go back and yeah. M2 wears a costume with the Bonnie head. True. True. What about Charlie? What about her? What about Charlie and Help Wanted 2? What do you mean? Isn't Charlie friends with Dreadbear? I don't know. Where are you getting that from? Charlie doesn't really factor into this theory, because it's more so, you know, Cassidy. You know, Cassidy is the princess. Make a FNaF 6 Pizza Sim interactive novel. I have thought about that, but I just think it'd be too similar to the game. Kind of like the exact same problem I had with my Sister Location interactive novel. At least the FNaF 4 was different. So. Hi, Club Penguin. Also, hi Joey. I completely forgot to say hi to you. I saw you joined. The bear from Faz Shooter? What? Go Gadget, I'm very confused. I know the puppet is in the FNaF 2 level. Her arms are covering Dreadbear to, like, make it more difficult, but I don't... It's never really stated that Charlie is, like, chill with Dreadbear like that. If you were a FNaF character, which character would you be? Probably Edwin. Not that I'm misogynistic, but, you know, sometimes I do prioritize work when I shouldn't. You know, sometimes I push myself, and sometimes I don't see the flaws in things until it's too late. So probably Edwin, which is also why he's one of my favorites. No, Club Penguin, I did not. I did not misspell bear. It's my old well, it's my Xbox name. I just ported it to YouTube. Look up Charlie from Help Wanted 2. Now I'm not YouTube. Now I really don't. I don't think there's anything really that, like... Yeah, I mean, there's the memory doll, and I know in, Carney? Yeah, Carney, but, like, I don't see how that would correlate. Yeah, because, like, Carney doesn't really have much to do with Cassidy and Golden Freddy. Yeah. Plus, it's weird. Like, Carney kind of makes sense being there. Dreadbear, out of all the characters, they chose Dreadbear? Like, I get it's, you know, Fall Fest, and that's where he debuted, but, like, still. So, I guess it makes sense. Never mind. Chat is broken. I think you mean it's delayed. Like, I don't know. Unless you're talking about, like, this chat. But I don't think it is. Oh, it is broken. That's so weird. You're right. It is weird. It is broken. How did that happen? What happened? Wait, how did that happen? What happened? Oh. What happened? Alright, I'm just gonna go into full screen. I don't... Yeah, that's... Yeah, I don't know what happened. That's weird. It's just, like, stopped after a certain point. Alright, well. Braked. That's all I really had for this stream. I'm gonna save the idea that Glitch gave us for the, you know, which games would be books. I think that's a good idea. I'm gonna save that for another stream. I'm gonna end it here because I have to do homework. Yeah, I have to start writing an essay, and I also have to do a digital portfolio. So, fun stuff. Fun stuff. Thank you guys so much for joining. Yeah, it's okay that you guys showed up late. If chat's still broken on here, like it's still not updating, I'll try to fix it next stream. We'll see. I gotta fix what's braked. Oh, and Roxy's here. It's Roxy's time of the month, so I don't want you guys to hear that, so I'm gonna... Thank you, Moon. You guys don't want to hear a horny cat. Alright, bye guys. Bye. Thank you. Bye. Bye.